So today I'm going to do my very first tips and tricks video on the Friday the 13th game. If you make it to the end, please leave me a comment. Let me know what I did right or what I could change, what I could enhance, and I really hope you enjoy the content.
Kaboom, and everybody dies outside. It ain't no escaping the reaper, so don't try. Go ahead and close your eyes. Who the next to step? Face down, hit, leaning on the steps of death. Check yourself, you just been invaded.
Yo, what's up with it? So if you made it past the intro, I'm assuming you got some time to watch it. So today is going to be this tips and tricks video about how to be Jason Voorhees. I'm really enjoying this game so far. But here we go. So here's my tips. My buddy Nasir actually requested that I put this in here. I'll tag him into it eventually. So what I like to do when I start off as Jason is I like to put a trap at the front door. Now, depending on how you are, if you're conservative with your traps, you can put one. I normally put two, but in this video, I only put one. This is just for if somebody wants to troll you or be a hero, you know what I'm saying? Try to kill Jason, so whatever. But the next step I do is I always, the first thing I do after I drop my traps is go to the phone box, because as a counselor, honestly, the first thing, because I have a perk that allows me to call the police faster, so it'll eliminate a couple minutes off the time, and you know, we can escape faster. So I feel like that's one of the fastest escapes on the game anyway, is if you're gonna, you know what I'm saying, if you're gonna try to escape from Jason, why not try to call the police? That's the first thing I do. So that being said, and I really hate to tell you guys this, freaking go for the phone first. Put your traps there, blase. The next thing I like to do is try to find the power box that is closest to a car. Now, you can either spawn at the car or spawn at the power box. Now, the reason I do this is because normally people go, if they don't go for the phone, they normally go and they're in pursuit of, you know, the freaking the battery, the gas, or the keys. So why not spawn by the closest thing, or the next closest thing to escape with? So also another thing that's good about when you break the fuse box is if anybody's close by and their composure isn't too high, they'll scream, which is causing fear. When their fear pops, they turn red. So after you've done that, go to another power box. And it doesn't matter, I really don't have a specific power box I go to. I just go, like I said, so it's trap, phone box, power box, and then to another power box. But next thing you want to do is find a Jason that you're good at. First of all, that's the first thing you need to do, is find a Jason that you're good at. I think it's part 2, the one that has the white sack on his head. And the reason being is because of my playstyle. This Jason, I can't remember which Jason this is. I'll actually try to tag it into the comment section later. But this Jason is good at shifting. He can shift really good, which is what part 2, the sack Jason, actually sucks at. So you got to pick your poison. You have to figure out what you like to do. I personally would rather teleport than shift. I mean, shifting comes in handy, don't get me wrong. But let's say, and this has happened to me multiple times, you set a trap, or even better yet, how you saw me put the trap at his mother's house. Let's say I just teleported, and when someone walks into Jason's mom's house, they'll set off some kind of alarm. Like, she'll basically say, hey, they're in my house, blase. So you want to be able to teleport back there real fast. So that's what I like to do. I'd rather teleport than shift. Shift comes in handy, blase. But like I said, I like to teleport. So check this out. So another good tip for you is the daggers or the throwing knives that are around the map. Grab them. That is very important, because most people don't play stealthy. They'll play with the character that they know can run. So you want to be able to use those knives to be able to hit them, slow them down. And they really come in handy, because if you see that dude's head is rolling, that is hilarious. But if you're chasing somebody like Vanessa or somebody and she has heck of stamina and she's fast, now her, because she's a female, she's a little bit weaker on strength and whatever. So it only takes about 1. Honestly, I think it takes 1 to damage her, and that's when she'll start walking. That'll make it a lot easier. So collect your daggers That's a very big thing. You'll definitely see the difference when you don't have daggers, because they'll just run all over the place. Another thing is, when you're breaking down doors, and this isn't a good example for me, you can hold the button and he'll just go into the animation where he's just hacking. But if you go into combat stance, which on the PlayStation 3 is R3, you click the R3 button and he'll make a little combat stance and just swing from there. And the perks to that is you don't get caught in the animation. So some people will be aiming a flare at you, or they have a trap there. And if you're not using the combat stance, you'll actually walk in the door and your foot will get trapped. So that's something you don't want to, you know what I'm saying? That's something that I think is beneficial to me, and I recommend that anybody else who's watching this video definitely tries. So another good thing is the fear meter. That is very much on your side. So you want to use your sense, which is R1 and X, so the very bottom, the eye. Now, what you don't want to do is use it up. So what I like to do is just, I hit the button and I'll really just try to get a general sense or direction of where you are, and then I'll cancel it again. So however you activate it, so for PlayStation, hit R1 and X, and it'll pop up the red. If their fear is high, you'll be able to see them. So once it pops up and you decide where they are, just drop it down. There's no reason to use it all. Fear, like I said, breaking boxes, getting close to them. And some characters actually, like Vanessa, she's very fast, because every character has a flaw somewhere. Everybody's not good in everything. So you want to be able to try to scare everybody the best you can. And my personal recommendations are the lighthouse, the phone box, and all of the light boxes. Just go to them, because 9 times out of 10 they're going to be close to something. Most people don't use the boat as much. Now, with this scenario, you see, it took me a while to realize that if the house is red, I know you're going to call me slow for this, but if the house is red, somebody's in there. I know that sounds like common sense, but I was still kind of new to the game. Now, what I did in this particular situation is I realized he was in a 1-door house. He had nowhere else to go, so I put a trap in front of the door. So when he ran out, he would have no choice but to run into it. Now, peep this. Some people will use bear traps of their own for when Jason walks in. So what I like to do is shift right in there over there, because you can't step in it if you shift. So I know it seems like common sense, but when you're afraid, or as a counselor, or if you're Jason, you don't normally think about that. You're just thinking about catching the person right then and there. So, and I've actually come into a lot of, look at it, he got away from me and then he stepped in my trap. So it played out well in my favor. But yeah, like I was saying, you don't really think about it sometimes. Sometimes you're just thinking about catching that individual. So try to plan out what you want to do. Like I said, I realized that this was a 1-door house and he only had one way out. So I put a trap on the outside of the door, broke the window. Always break the windows. And the reason being is, if they are running and jump through the window, they'll get hurt. So if he has a character like Vanessa, once again, who doesn't have a lot of health, she can jump through that maybe twice, possibly, maybe just once. Look at that. She gets hit and she's hurt. She's already limping. So, or she might not be. It might take 2. Oh no, or she healed up. So, like I said, if they jump through the window with a character like her who doesn't have much health, she'll be hurt. She'll start to limp, and it'll make it easier for you to catch her. You see that? You see how I use my sense and then I stop. So find the Jason that you're good at. A lot of people like to shift. I like to shift too, but when it comes down to it, if you're tracking somebody like this, I'm chasing this person, and then somebody activates another one of my traps, I'll leave her alone. I'll leave her to be, and I'll go chase the person that ran into the trap, because it's an easier kill. And she also doesn't have high stealth, so she'll pop up on the map with your senses. So another thing I recommend is playing with every character. And the reason being is you'll know what to look for. Vanessa, the other African-American guy, they're really fast, but they don't have good stealth. They don't have stealth at all, really. They're like 1 and 2 out of 10. So you can see them from anywhere, especially when your character turns to rage. And the way you activate your rage is if you start getting hit a lot, or they got pocket knives, they shoot you, they hit you with anything. So once you activate your rage, your senses become a lot better. Like you can see almost all the way across the map. Now, once again, that's why I say that you should play with every character, because you need to know what they're good at. Some characters will have good composure, which I don't believe misses with stealth, but if they have good composure, they won't get afraid and they won't pop up on your sense, to my knowledge, because their fear level is so low that you really don't have to worry about that. But that's only one girl, and the reason I know that is because I've played with every character other than Tommy Jarvis. I believe he has a 10 in like everything, but that's a wild card. Now, once again, towards the end, once you realize that they haven't called the police, or, you know what I'm saying? Because I pretty much cut off all of the avenues. They haven't called the police, and I have put traps by the cars and whatnot, and I know where the cars are. So yeah, that's another thing. I would say, and you'll see this in future gameplay, I'll put a trap by the gas tank, and I'll put a trap by where the battery is, so the front of the car. It's kind of hard to place the traps because sometimes people will find a way to get by them. Now, with that being said, also, if you have a pocket knife, and I know people don't want to risk it, but if you have a pocket knife, you can actually crouch down beside the trap, and it'll give you a option to pick the trap. So that's something most people won't know. The top perk is called stalk, and what stalk does is it cuts off the chasing music. So if you're chasing somebody and you don't want them to know you're by, activate your stalk. So, you know, I feel like you just really have to know what Jason you want. You have to know what perks that you're really good at, or what perks you really like. Like I said, morph is for me. Some people may want to have a better grip so that Jason can't get away. So figure out what Jason you want. Play with every counselor, play with every Jason, and figure out what you're good at or what you like to do. And until next time, I think these might be some pretty good tips for you. I hope it's been a big help to you. Leave me a comment and let me know if there's anything I could change, anything that I said wrong, and I'll definitely change it. Thanks for watching.
Dear diary, I'm running out of pages, fading in and out, taking purple hazes. The daisies, revelations in the last stages. Red skies listen to the silent horns play. I'm praying with tears in my eyes, cause I'm trying.